John McNeil and several workers from the Barnes & Company Saltwork Company on the Great Salt Lake on their northern shore, they claim to have witnessed this massive creature emerge from the water late in the evening. As it emerged from the water, apparently it roared at the nearby men, who were terrified at what they had seen. They described it as having a crocodile-like body, a horse-like head, and fins apparently on the side, and a thick reptilian-like hide on it. The men, in sheer terror, they ran off. Now, I don't know if it was breathing fire, but yeah, I went a little crazy with that. But luckily for us, monsters like this are not living in Bottle Hollow, or at least I haven't collected any similar stories. This Godzilla-like thing is resting somewhere, possibly, hopefully dead by now, but somewhere in Salt Lake. And the monsters, however, in Bottle Hollow are no less terrifying and prehistoric, apparently. In 1971, right after Bottle Hollow Reservoir was first filled with water, I mean almost immediately after they filled it with water, strange reports of large serpents were seen almost immediately. Tribal members, including a tribal police officer, actually several tribal police officers, would go out to the reservoir at night, and on moonlit nights they would see these giant sea serpents, or huge snakes as they would call them, slithering from one end of the reservoir to the other. The officer stated, quote, "We used to see things swimming around in the water that looked like giant snakes." Several other officers also witnessed the mysterious creature. And despite being a man-made reservoir, I mean, remember, this is not a natural body of water. That, of course, is Brandon Fugal.
Yeah.
Whenever it comes to filming giant prehistoric snakes, Brandon does so not from a cheap-ass lawn chair sitting on the side of a Bottle Hollow with his brother, filming it with an Android crappy phone. Oh no, he does so from the comfort of his multi-million-dollar brand new helicopter on his iPhone 16,000, I don't know, something well above what I have. Let's see. Here's what Brandon filmed, and it's really impressive. This is not Bottle Hollow, this is about 20 miles to the north. I didn't hear those wows from my video. I don't blame you, I didn't either. So less than 20 miles away from Bottle Hollow, at an elevation higher, about 1,000 feet higher, is a world-famous paranormal hotspot known for its ultra-serious scientific study of the UAP phenomena. Untold Ranch, here we go. Best scientist in the world. It's a giant slithering snake trail winding throughout the road and kind of exiting by the creek next door. Now, I tell the driver, stop the car. What is that? And we get out and we look, and it's James and myself. And we trace it, and it comes from the pond, this large snake track from the pond over the track, and then exits into the pond or there's a creek bed next to it. This is exactly what we saw.
What the hell? What the hell? This wasn't here yesterday. These are fresh overnight tracks. So I went down to the pond. I wanted to actually look for the trespassers down there. When I got down there, I found something even more surprising. These very large tracks.
Look at that.
It was all fresh.
Two of them.
There was two of them. Now that's interesting. We didn't know if it's two separate snakes or if it returned back to the pond, following the same track back. It's crazy to think that, I don't want to scare anybody that's been out there, but a lot of people go swimming in the pond, kind for its healing properties. Chad's always diving in. Yeah, and then you got this thing coming out of it. And what's fascinating is it comes out of it the day after we do these explosions. This is a photo Charlie took of the snake a week later in the nearby creek. At the wrong time or the right time, and witness this. What does the blue color represent? You know, is red worse than blue? All these balls of light seem to have different colors around the ranch. Why is this only happening at night? This next story happened in 1998 to a friend of mine named Ryan Burns. He's a local Skinwalker Ranch researcher. He also owns Space Wolf Research, which is a property adjacent to Skinwalker Ranch. Now, this is again 1998. He knows about the stories from NIDS, is pretty popular at that time. And he's driving, he's local, he lives there because he's excited to do this research, and he hears all these stories about balls of light, UFOs, skinwalker-like creatures seen. And as he's driving around at night, it's now maybe 12 o'clock at night or so, he's looking at this guy, looking for UFOs, trying to follow these mysteries, see if there's anything to them. And as he's driving down the road, he comes across an old Native American man, just walking. And this is now in the winter. It looks cold out. The guy looks lost. He pulls over and asks, "Hey, do you want to ride?" The guy looks down, doesn't look at Ryan Burns, but he gets into the car. Yeah, it's just it's like one of those horror movies. As he gets into the car, Ryan Burns loses consciousness. He awakes about 6 to 7 hours later at Bottle Hollow, about a quarter of a mile away, half hanging out of the car, his seatbelt the only thing holding him into the truck. Having no idea what happened to him, wherever the Native American man was gone, and he was found by the local Ute tribal members. He was found catatonic, in a state of shock and just confusion. Had no idea what happened. Now, I like to credit myself as being the first to show the world the location of Skinwalker Ranch on my website. However, Ryan Burns, not George Knapp, was the first in all my research to coin the term the hitchhiker effect. Anybody know what that means? Yes. What does it mean? Anybody?
Something comes to visit you after you visited them.
That's right. Yeah, that's how I know. Something that follows you home. You have this close personal encounter with something near or at the ranch, and it attacks. Now again, these AI animations can only do so much. Now, can you imagine if we could actually see the photo that Corey's friend took of the event?
Yes.
That photo, where we're going. There's no need to imagine it, because Corey gave me that photo. Would you like to see it?
Yes.
This is the photo. This is not him, or again, wrong place, right time. Go ahead.
Did he have any damage, like radiation burns or sunburn or?
I don't know. It's just I just collect the stories, and I just add it to the pool of knowledge of what we know, and I'm looking for patterns throughout all of these. The next story was shared to me by an independent scientist who had worked with the NIDS team. He reached out to me and wanted to share his story about an event that happened to him in 2005 while he was with the NIDS team. Now, they had brought him out as an independent contractor to study the phenomena at Skinwalker Ranch. This is before Bass or any of that got involved. This is their original study of the ranch. He was out there for almost a year before seeing anything of interest. He described the property as peaceful, mundane, if not boring. One night, as he was inside the NIDS trailer, he hears the dogs barking. They go outside the trailer, they're looking around, they feel like an electric static in the air. The hair on their arms and neck begin to stand up Everything's energized. The dogs are going wild at this point. And as they look up in the sky, they see like a black shape forming in the sky. It's darker than the sky all around them. It's pitch black, almost as if it's taking the darkness of the sky itself and bringing it into this single shape above their head. As he looks up, both men hear a telepathic message in their heads. It says, "We know what you are doing here. We are doing the same thing, but our roles are reversed. We have the advantage. You cannot stop us. We're going back to work." In a flash, the object was gone. And he describes feeling almost drugged, dazed, and confused.
We know what you're doing here. We're doing the same thing, but our roles are reversed. We have the advantage. You cannot stop us.
So I always get excited when an insider kind of reaches out to me, and I asked him, okay, what happened? Do you have other stories? If this is the first event that kicked it off, what else do you have for me? And I said, what happened the next day, the next month? He said after this event that he was so terrified, so shocked, and in such a state of panic that he packed his bags, he left the ranch, never to return again. I said, nothing? He said, hell no. I never want to go back to that property, and never returned.
What year was that?
2005. The next story was shared to me by two ex-military veterans who were skeptics before them. So in 2009, while filming the Jesse Ventura Conspiracy TV show, I took the production crew to the same exact east gate at Skinwalker Ranch that these veterans had visited. And this happened well before I even knew about their story. Here it is.
Somehow, their power source is suddenly drained.
I think the battery's dead.
When they move on to a new location, things get even scarier.
This keeps going in and out. Something's riding the signal.
The radio channel comes distortion. I've never heard of a robotic distortion on the radio.
Whoa. Did you hear that? Whoa. Do you think they're trying to communicate with us?
I mean, it's almost silly sometimes for me to watch if I didn't live this. And I was hearing this coming over my radio. Well, at first I noticed the production crew. Everybody started gathering around one of the vehicles. And they're like, there's these voices, these mechanical voices coming over the radio. And I'm like, what are you guys doing? What kind of production stunt are you doing to recreate this? I just think it's part of the show or something that they're doing on the side that I have no idea about. Until I get in my car, turn on my radio, and every station is playing the same robotic, strange voices with these messages and warnings. The messages were true evil, get off, and stay away.
Who's true evil? Is it true evil or you?
That's what I'm wondering. And I'm gonna go there too. Is it exactly? Is it warning us that whatever's there is there another group associated with this that's warning us whatever's out there is true evil? Stay away. Not that it's too busy to deal with us stupid humans or something. That it's a warning. There's some sort of angelic possible warning that for our own good, this is a place of true evil and to stay away. So whatever's at the ranch, it's not afraid to communicate, as we've shown. Unfortunately, rather than being benevolent, what they're hunting for, deer. And they start pursuing it. As they're looking for the deer, they get up to a ridge line and they look over the ridge and he sees this glowing, burning light in the distance in this gully below them. He thinks, boy, is that strange. What is that? So he tells his son to run back to the camp, come back with the binoculars. He comes back several minutes later with the binoculars and he looks through the binoculars. He's got, I think it was actually a spotting scope. And as he's looking through there, he sees a building. And again, anybody that knows the wilderness out in the Uintah Mountains, it is true wilderness. There is nothing out there. It's a national forest. There's no buildings, nothing. And as he's looking at this strange building, he sees a flying saucer landed next to the building and one hovering above it. It gets better. As As he's looking at this building, this flying saucer, his jaw just drops to the floor. He's in this total state of shock. He's almost on the verge of panic when he sees military men. He recognizes there's military people. He's seen something he probably shouldn't at that point. He's nervous. Along with the military people, he sees men in hazmat suits and an alien directing it all, a gray alien. They're taking what looks to be storage containers and crates and levitating them from out of this building and into the ship. Once all the crates get into the ship, the hatch closes on the ship goes up in the sky, takes off. The next ship hovering over the building then lands, and the same process goes over. So it looks like some sort of a resupply point. All right, my kind of people. Book changed my life. After reading the book, my ADHD, I think that's a new term for it. It used to be ADD. Was like Skinwalker. I love the Skinwalker Ranch place. It's like a paranormal circus, a paranormal zoo. Look, hey, there's a squirrel. No, it's a bulletproof wolf. No, it's a zombie bulletproof wolf. Intelligent balls of light. Vaporized dogs, balls of light, portals opening up. This place is great. So since this is Skinwalker Ranch, I knew the stories could not just end there, and there had to be even wilder stories to be told. From the time when Gwen and Terry Sherman owned the ranch. So I made it my mission to contact them, to reach them, to do whatever it would take to get their attention and get these other stories out of them. No other producer, no other researcher, TV show, or anyone was able to get these stories directly from the Shermans themselves. After being extremely, I guess the nice word is like persistent, annoying, Gwen Sherman finally replied to my multiple emails. So I ever so eloquently convinced her, by badgering the hell out of her, to finally talk to me in 2012. And man, did she ever. Deep in the ranch's shadowy pastures, under a vast starless Utah sky, stood Terry Sherman and his young nephew. They were frozen in the field in one of the pastures one night. They heard what sounded like a CB radio talking to them above their head. They'd hear its crackle, these unintelligible murmurs drifting from nowhere. As they listened, the voices grew clearer, emanating from the empty space above them. They heard two distinct different voices talking to each other. They were deep and resonant. One of them was a higher pitched voice. It had a Russian sounding accent. The other, a Native American sounding accent. Their words twisting together in unknown language. He yelled up into the sky, "We can hear you! You're not surprising us." Silence, and then they heard a mocking laugh above their heads, and the voices resumed their muffled dialogue. The family could feel the presence linger in the night sky. They were uneasy. So, what were they saying? They had no idea. The voices were so muffled. They sounded as if they were in a Russian and Native American dialect. I just can't imagine what it would sound like if we could hear what those voices were saying. What did that dialect sound like? So again, that's Terry Sherman and his nephew out there. So again, creepy voices, another spooky story. The voice you're about to hear, it's not my voice. It's not my ex-wife's voice. There was no one there. It was just me, my ex-wife, and that ball of fire, that glowing ball of fire that was next to us. So what I'm about to share with you is just a small segment of what we heard. And this is it. This is the actual tape. We got a picture of it. That's it. Now, this is not an EVP. This is something that we heard. We caught it on the video. Unfortunately, the video was not very good. It was pitch black, but we did catch the voice. Anybody want to hear it again?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was definitely my impression.
All weird. You feel close to it? Oh my God.
That's what we saw.
That would be.
Horrifying. I mean, it's just you, and again, this glowing, like a sparkler ball of light that was floating next to the car vials.
The local youth tribe or Navajo identified
I've tried. I don't know the resources or who to send that to.
John Dover.
I mean, after the presentation, yeah, I would love to give this to somebody. And there's more to it. There's a lot more. Is it really a dialect? What are they really seeing? There's nobody. We're on the side of a road on I-70. It's 2 a.m. There's nobody on the highway when this was happening. So is this a Native American or a Navajo Skinwalker? I have no idea, but I do know from personal experience we were horrified to hear these invisible voices talking above our heads in this muffled tone, in this unknown language, no one else there, having this tense conversation, probably about what to do with us. You know, were these, I've always wondered, were these just like, with what Terry and Gwen heard, or what Terry and his nephew heard about them, were they like two just lost alien pilots who forgot to turn off their intercom and they're maybe fighting over directions of where to go next? Or maybe it's something else, something dark, sinister, timeless, from a place between our world and the next, a twilight zone where the veil is thin, perhaps discussing plans for how they will core out our intestines, drain our blood, fillet your body, like they did to that calf that NIDS discovered at Skinwalker Ranch. I know, freaks me out. This is that calf, and this is what NIDS discovered. Now, my father's a very deep man, and he came to me and said, you know, I'm talking to him about these UFOs, and he said, son, you know, let me explain something to you. Yeah, I have the answer for all this UFO mystery. I'm like, Dad, what is it? Teach me. And he said, Ryan, I know where the UFOs are. They're right there, right between your 2 ears. I was so mad. So despite him really pissing me off with that comment, basically that I made up the whole thing. When I look at this photo, I hope he's right. Because there's real consequences to what's happening at Skinwalker Ranch. Something did that to that calf.
Is that white circle thing an ear tag?
It's where they cut the ear off.
Oh, okay.
That's the lesion or wherever they cut the ear itself off.
And still happening to this day.
Still happening. Somebody just came up to my booth and showed me another nearby lake, Pelican Lake, some other mutilations that were happening. She saw a large square-shaped craft glowing on the ground. The light pulsated. Oh, we're just gonna skip ahead. We got other stuff to get. We're getting low on time. This is the final Sherman story, the one Gwen told me never to tell. Or I mean, the last story she ever told me. This is the last one. This is kind of the reason why they left the ranch and never returned. Her experience was so terrifying, so personal, that it forced the family to leave Skinwalker Ranch for good. Exhausted from a grueling day of rounding up cattle, Terry and Gwen locked every door in the house tight, twisting every lock, twisting it again, hearing it click back and forth, just making sure that it was locked tight. They were traumatized by all the past events over the years. They knew that night had a habit of bringing out the strange, the paranormal, and the terrifying. This was now a ritual that felt like their last protection between them and the unknown outside. As she ushered her children to bed, the house creaked with the wind, as if alive that night. She took a hot shower, as if to wash away the fear that night brings with it while living at Skinwalker Ranch. Before collapsing, she fell into a deep, uneasy sleep. Hours later, she awoke to screams, every family member screaming in unison, echoing throughout the house. In horror, she noticed that the bed sheets wet, soaked in crimson red blood. A metallic and sulfur scent wafted into the air, permeating everything throughout the house. Panic rising, Terry and Gwen examined each other. Where was this blood coming from? They looked at their hands, and each had an identical scoop mark out of their thumb, a quarter of an inch deep, bleeding, and every family member had the same exact cuts, as if surgically removed by an invisible blade. No pain during the night. Doors locked tight. No sign of entry. Just these raw, bleeding gouges staring back at them. Every member had it. They were all marked. Suddenly, Gwen let out a shriek. From the corner of her room, a dark shadow arose. It came towards her and Terry, and then went past them into the hallway, disappearing. That night, the Shermans learned that their safeguard ritual of shutting every window tight, locking every door, obsessively twisting the deadbolts, it was not enough. The ritual had failed. Whatever was out there could invade the privacy of their house at any time at will. There was no safety. There was nowhere left to hide. They were no longer safe. In Gwen's exact words, she told me, quote, "We were nothing more than bugs in a jar for these beings." Not wanting to spend another night in this hell house, the family frantically packed all their belongings, bandaged their fingers, threw away the bloody bed sheets, and left the ranch, vowing never to step foot on the property again, and they didn't. You guys noticed? I was gonna say, what's even scarier than the blood in this story is the fact that she's got an extra finger by